you know, as a teacher, I can tell you, when I was teaching, that was a big old no. That was a capital no, you know, a couple exclamation points at the end, no. Well, here's the other part of that, though. I want you to think of somebody that's been doing what you've been doing for, say, 5 or 10 years longer than you have. Same career, profession, trade, job, whatever it is. Just picture somebody that's, give or take, done it a few years longer than you have. Can we all mentally get somebody in our mind? Is that where you want to be financially in, say, 5 or 10 years? As a teacher, that probably meant what, right? About another $150 a month, maybe? It wasn't a whole lot. And no, that wasn't where I wanted to be in another 5 or 10 years. What I'm going to suggest to us, ladies and gentlemen, is that if we want something different in our life, we've got to change something. If we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. We've got to understand that it's going to take a change. We've got to make a change. But the neat part about this is that we can do it. The only person that can stop you from being successful and changing your life is you. I've come to that realization. See, I grew up dirt poor. I had no dad in my life. My mom worked in a sewing factory for minimum wage, supported me and elderly aunt and grandmother. I grew up in South Dallas on a street called Dunlap, where there were 2 murders and a rape within 7 houses of us. I saw more drugs and violence as a kid than I care to remember. I'm telling you, I had no silver spoon in my mouth. It was a plastic spoon, guys. I mean, you know, and then somehow I managed to get into education, and I taught for 16 years. I have 0 qualifications to have made the money that we've made, other than I wanted something out of my life. I had a burning desire in my butt that I wanted to be somebody, and I was willing to get off my rear and go do something to try to change it. It doesn't take special ability, it just simply takes action. It's something we can all do. So the thing I'm going to ask us to do tonight then is simply, if you really want to change your life, and if you don't, 10 minutes will go by and you can leave and go back to business as usual. But if you really want to change your life, then I'm going to ask everybody in this room to make a decision up here and in your heart that you really want to change your life. Because it takes a decision. You can't play with this. See, what I get all the time is I travel the country, I'll get people that'll go, okay, I want to change my life. When I start making that big money, I'm going to jump all in, man. I'm going to really get into this thing. No, you're not going to make the big money unless you dive in. You know, I get people that want to just stick their big toe in the water. You got to dive in head first, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to change your life. So let's make a decision. Once we've made the decision, we got to reinforce it till it becomes a commitment. And you go, well, how do I reinforce a decision? Okay, here's what I'm going to go over. This is kind of the meat of what I'm going to talk about. We need to make the decision tonight and then start reinforcing it. And to reinforce it, what I'm going to recommend to all of us is that we've got to start changing our thinking. See, I grew up with a poverty mentality. And you may have a poverty mentality, or you may even be up there and have a middle-class mentality. But I'm telling you, there's even more than middle class, believe it or not, guys. Right. We got a chance to do something special, but we got to change this. And the way we change it is by reading, by listening to good stuff, and by hanging with the right people. Now let me hit those real quick. Reading. I taught math, so I wouldn't have to read. Probably like you, right? I don't like reading. I'll be honest. See if anybody can relate to this. I'm not a very good reader, so sometimes I'll be reading my book, and I'll read me 2 or 3 pages, and I'll sit up and I'll go, what did I just read? I've got now where I underline and highlight and dog ear and put stars. Sometimes I'll even read the same book 2 times, just because it helps me understand it. But I read now. And it gets rid of some of that poverty mentality and gets some good mentality up in my mind. Because, see, if we think we can, we can. If we think we can't, you're right. That's just the way it is. So we've got to change the way we think. And by reading those books, how about Stephen Covey or John Maxwell or Zig Ziglar or T. Harv Eker or Napoleon Hill or Robert Kiyosaki, or, I mean, there's a whole litany of people we can read that'll help us start having some personal growth and changing the way we think. Now, the other thing is, let me throw this out. This is good. You're going to like this, Ronnie. How about this? Let's ask ourselves this thing. If I read 10 pages in a good book today, is it going to change our life? No, probably not. I guess in a rare circumstance it could, but probably not. But what if I read 10 pages again tomorrow? And then just 10 pages the next day. And then just 10 pages the day after. And then just 10 pages the day after that. And somehow I scratched out another 15 minutes and read 10 pages the next day. And for 1 calendar year, I scratched out 10 or 15 minutes and read me 10 pages out of a good book. And I guarantee you, if it was important to us, we could all scratch out enough time to read 10 pages, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. 365 times 10 is 3,650 pages. You've read somewhere around 15 to 20 good books.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if you read 15 to 20 good books in the next year, it might change your life?
Yes.
I'm going to say absolutely, positively, yes. Here's the way I used to be. I'd see a book and it'd be kind of thick. I'd kind of glance at it and I'd go, geez, the print's too small. Look at that. And then if it was something I was really interested in, I'd look at it again. I'd go, no pictures. Because I didn't want to tackle a book that had 300-400 pages in it. I just didn't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
But if we read those 10 pages a day, it doesn't really matter, does it? Whether it's a 150-page book or a 300-page book, if I just read my 10 pages a day, I'll get through that book. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, it's not in our life, it's not the big things that we do. Because there's not many big things that we really do in our life, is there? It's the little things. What I'm going to challenge everybody is have a daily discipline to read a little bit and listen to some good stuff and to make some appointments and show the plan and do some stuff like that is what I'm going to challenge all of us to do, is every day do just a little bit. Because all those little daily disciplines will add up to be our life's accomplishments. And we can all do those little daily disciplines. Jeez, I'm getting worse. I'm running them off before I really get going. We're going to read good books. And if you're like me, what I do too, since I don't read too good, I'll get those books on CD. Have y'all seen those?
Yeah.
And I'll take my car and turn it into a rolling university. I'll put that CD in there about whatever book. I'm listening to John Maxwell right now, and as I'm driving around, I'm listening to John Maxwell, and the foremost authority on leadership, is talking to me about leadership. Guys, do you realize, I read this the other day, you'll appreciate this. If you'll listen to stuff in your car every time you're out, in 3 years, you will gain the equivalent of 2 years college education.
Wow.
Is that not pretty mind-boggling when you really think about that?
true.
Instead of bebopping to the jams or listening to the negative news, why don't we put something in there that can change our mind?
Wow.
So we're going to read, we're going to listen, and then here's the big one. And this is the one that kicks us in the shin most of the time. I used to pull my basketball team together, and we met in a room about this size. It was our meeting room. Wasn't quite this many people, but I'd always talk to my team about life and how I wanted them to act and dress and the grades I wanted them to make and all that sort of stuff. We'd cover a litany of things, but always somewhere in that speech, I'd always look at them and I'd say, you show me who you run with, and I'm going to show you who you are or who you're going to be. I didn't want them getting in trouble. I didn't want them running with the wrong crowd.
Right.
Well, I don't think we're going to leave the Clarion tonight and run out and knock off a fruit stand or anything. So I'm not saying I think we're going to go get in trouble. But I tell you what, Coach, you probably have these talks with you guys. I'm going to make the same statement to you guys, though. You show me who you run with, and I'll show you who you are or who you're going to be. And you go, wait a minute, Preston, what are you talking about? You just said we're not going to get in trouble. No, I don't think you're going to get in trouble. But I'm going to tell you what, if you're running with positive, motivated, see the glass half full winners, then I'm going to tell you what, you can accomplish great and mighty things in your life. And you know why that is? Because the people we run with rub off on us. They rub off on us. And all of a sudden, those people we run with, we'll start taking on some of their thoughts. We'll start taking on some of their actions. We'll even start taking on some of their vocabulary. Kind of a scary thought for some of us, isn't it? Because see, here's the problem with that, guys. Here's the problem. The flip side of that's also true.
Yeah.
If you're running around with a bunch of negative, dull, disillusioned, frustrated crybabies that are blaming everybody else for their lack of success, and they're always telling you, you can't do it, guys, I'm telling you what, then you're swimming against the current, and every time you make a little progress, it pushes you back. You swim against the current, it's going to pull you back.
Yeah.
Because, guys, we all have a group of friends that we hang with most of the time. It's usually 5 to 8 people in our lives that we spend the bulk of our time with. 5 to 8 people. Sometimes it's his dear friends, sometimes it's family. But we spend most of our time, and I'm not talking about immediate family. I'm talking about the people we spend time, kind of discretionary time, if you will. We have that group of 5 to 8 people. Now, here's the thing. You've probably heard this one. That if you average their incomes, chances are your income will fall somewhere pretty close to that. Huh? Have y'all heard that one?
Yeah.
But get this. It's more than that. Your personal growth will be about the average of those 5 people. Your health will be about the average of those 5, 6, 7, or 8 people.
Wow.
Everything in your life will kind of take on the characteristics of that group you hang with, guys. So we got to be real careful when we're picking our friends. I'm gonna ask us all to do a homework assignment tonight. Let's do this. What I want you to do is write down the 5, 6, 7, 8 people you spend most of your time with. This won't take 3 minutes. And then just ask yourself 3 simple little questions. Is this someone I should stop associating with? Yeah, I see some of you laughing. You don't even have to think about it if it's somebody you should stop associating with. You know it. I don't think there's many of those in our lives, but there may be one. Second thing we're going to ask ourselves about our list of people. Is it someone I should limit my association with? I actually put that one on there because we can't get rid of our family, but we can at least limit yeah, some of them are looking real pious, like they don't have some of those cousins. Yeah, right. I hadn't seen the perfect family yet, huh? And the third thing I'm going to ask about those 5, 6, 7, 8 people that I spend most of my time with, is it somebody I should expand my association with? I'm telling you what, guys, there's a bunch of people in this room that are quality, motivated people that are going somewhere with their life. Those are the ones you need to spend your time with. Everybody in this room knows people that are going somewhere. You need to be running with people that either have what you want or they're pulling the rope the same way you're pulling. Because there's a fact in life, guys, inmates do not want to see a prisoner escape. You're going to figure this out. That group of people, y'all got to listen faster. I'm running out of time. That group of people, hang with me. That group of people that you run with, you're going to go tell them all about it now. And they're going to look at you, and most of them are going to go, "Nah, I don't want to do that. But I hope you do real good." That first part of that statement is the truth. They don't want to do it. The second part is a lie. They don't want you to do real good. And you go, "Man, that's cold-blooded. That's a friend of mine." Yeah, it may be. And I won't say, there's no absolute. So I'm not going to say always, but I'm going to say most of the time. You go share that with some friends of yours. They don't want you to do real good. And you say, "Why, Preston?" Because if you go change your life and change your family's life, like several people in this room have, and they had the same opportunity you did, it makes them look real bad.
Yeah.
If you can't change the people around you, ladies and gentlemen, then change the people around you. So, we're going to make a decision. We want to change our life. We're going to reinforce it by reading and listening to some good stuff on CDs. And guys, I'm telling you, if you don't have a good book you're reading, start off with Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's a great one to start with. But we got to start reading something. But we're gonna read, and then we're going to hang with the right people. And if we'll start doing that, then that decision will become a commitment. And let me tell you something about commitment. Commitment is the first step to greatness. Commitment is that little difference, Coach, between winning that playoff game and not winning that playoff game. What I'm telling you is if you make a commitment, you'll do things you never thought that you could do. Because, see, the human mind and body can accomplish so much more than we ever give it credit for. But it takes that commitment of you just saying there's no options other than winning. We've got to make the decision, reinforce it till it becomes a commitment, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we can change the whole world. We can certainly change our financial picture. Now, let me read something for you real quick. I love this. It's called Go Against the Grain. If you want to be one of the top money earners in Ignite, you've got to be willing to leave most of your friends and business associates behind. Come on. If most people won't make phone calls every day, then you make phone calls every day. If most people won't show the business plan daily, then show the business plan daily. If everyone tells you that you're crazy, then go find another one like you. If most people quit, then don't quit. If most people won't go to meetings, go to meetings. If most are afraid to do it, then do it. Only a few deserve to be at the top because only a few dare to do it the way no one else will. With Ignite, it's not uncommon ability, it's uncommon action. Today, do what others won't so you'll have tomorrow what others don't. I challenge everybody in this room to do what all those thousands of mediocre people won't do. Go against the grain and dare to be different. You know, I'm going to end with a story. Some of you guys have heard this. If you've heard this story, tough, okay?